Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our JustNoMil. In today's episode, how to break pregnancy news with MIL. Top 10 things I learned from my narcissistic mother-in-law. Still mad after spending Mother's Day with the in-laws. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. How to break pregnancy news with MIL. The relationship with MIL and SFIL has been rocky for a couple of months. There's always been something brewing with occasional fights, but it really escalated in December around Christmas. She's in constant need of attention and throws fits if she thinks she receives less attention than she deserves. See my post history for details. We've been no contact since the middle of January. She stopped answering our emails. We've been wanting to go to mediation, see a family therapist, and while she initially said she's open to it, she never followed up. We found out in late March that I was pregnant. Very much planned and wanted. Since I'm only 9 weeks along, we have only told the closest people. We know the news is eventually going to get to her, so we're discussing how to break the news to her, while also standing our ground regarding mediation. My husband is her only child, so this will be her first grandchild. I know the situation is complicated and a lot of people here are going to argue for us to drop the rope, but just wondering if anybody has experienced something similar? She's made it clear she doesn't want contact with you, so I just let it be. She initiated in C by email, and you are respecting her wishes. Who has time for drama, especially with a baby on the way? I'm sure she will blow up about it when she finds out, so you're kind of damned if you don't hear. Make no mistake, she isn't owed any sort of relationship with her son she specifically went in C with for ridiculous reasons. Thank you. Yeah, we assume the drama will be bigger if she finds out from somebody else. That's why we're trying to be proactive. There's going to be drama either way. I've seen stories about similar situations on here, and each time, the overwhelming majority of comments are in agreement. You stop talking to them for a reason. Resuming contact just because you're about to enter a vulnerable time where stress plays a huge role is not a good move. Her not hearing it from you is a natural consequence of her actions. She doesn't have a right to know, and she threw that privilege out the window. Realizing that you're serious and actually done putting up with her may be what pushes her to be better, and that starts with the shock of not being the first to know. It's not likely, but it's possible. Save yourself the stress of trying to deal with her and just focus on growing a small person. That's an interesting perspective about her realizing we're not giving in even for something that big. We've not thought about this before, thank you. You are in C. Just don't tell her. Why are you trying to mediate and negotiate with emotional terrorists? They can reach out to your husband if they so chose. You should maintain in C. Their tune will change when they find out you're pregnant, but show them no grace and put them on a total information diet. You decide if you want any contact, but I would keep news of the pregnancy secret as long as possible. Top 10 things I learned from my narcissistic mother-in-law. Another awful Mother's Day spent praying at the altar of my very undeserving MIL. Hope this brings a smile to anyone else having a bad day. Have a favorite child. Let everyone know it. Pit your children against one another. If they hate each other, they're each more likely to want to spend time with you and only you. If you're on the phone with someone who isn't bending to your will, hang up on them. As soon as you hear other people's good news, call your children and fill them in on who is getting married, got a promotion, had a baby, etc. Under the soothing guise of inane gossip, you're really motivating them to do better. Leave all family heirlooms to your daughter. What do your sons need with any of that jewelry? Everyone else gets to retire, so you are forever finished with grocery shopping, cooking, cleaning, or making any vacation, holiday, or special plans for the family. You're retired too. It's okay to belittle your grandchildren if they don't effusively suck up to you. Use the phrase, "it's a wash," to describe any situation in which you don't want to pay for another of your children to do something you totally paid for your favorite child to do. If at first you don't succeed, lie again. Mother's Day is your day, because you are the biggest mother of them all. Still mad after spending Mother's Day with the in-laws? Please do not share or repost this. Thank you. Also not sure why this post got locked, but thank you to everyone who wrote in and validated my feelings. It really helped me get over this to see that my situation is, indeed, exhausting. Every year I tell my husband I only want one thing for Mother's Day and OT, to spend it with his family. My MIL was the worst grandma to my kids. They had a ton of health issues, as did I. So mothering was very intense for me, and I had no help from her even though she never worked and lived not so far away. She's a highly functioning narc. It took me years to understand what was going on, and other than my husband, now, no one else sees it. She stopped talking to me outside of these get-togethers years ago when I told her that no, I did not want to drive an hour to her house for my birthday, leading her to hang up on me. But this year, I felt my kids have grown up a lot and mothering is less work, so I could be the bigger person and get together with that side of the family because we hadn't seen them in months. Big mistake. We don't share values, and it is so boring to spend time with them. The conversations are 100% inane. Think restaurants, celebrity gossip, sleepaway camp, and golf stories. And my own son actually told me, "I saw how no one would listen to you," when I tried like 3 times to join into a conversation about something I did know about between my BIL and FIL. Anyway, at the end, instead of appreciating that we'd come, we are probably at 50% attendance at these family functions because of how I feel. They sprung on us that they expect us, meaning me, as I'm the main cook and definitely the chief bottle washer, to host the whole big group at my house for Father's Day, which is also the day after my son's high school graduation, which they're coming to, and I'm hosting my mom and her husband from out of town the whole weekend for it too, so I don't have time to prep for a huge cook. I do realize they are trying to give their daughter, the golden child and their absolute fave, a break because she fell into the de facto hostess role when they sold their house here. My MIL now hasn't lifted a finger to help with anything in years. But I don't want to host, honestly. I don't even want to be at the get-togethers. I don't want to spend the day working that hard for people who don't treat me kindly. I also have to say that there is a huge economic discrepancy in how they've treated their kids, which really steams me. We have received very little financial assistance from them over the years, granted, because husband made very good career decisions and has worked incredibly hard. We don't need assistance, not a coincidence. These things were important to him as his way of becoming independent of them. But both of the other siblings have lived for years in houses that my in-laws paid for and are getting other significant things paid for as well that we don't. Yet my in-laws seem to think they can demand that we all do things for them because they are so used to using their money for control and don't see that we haven't been beneficiaries like that. There is a third brother with a family who doesn't work and doesn't have a kid graduating that weekend who could host, so I was just flabbergasted. I just don't understand how they can only think of themselves or their favorite child all the time. They are on permanent vacation between their 2 remaining homes, and we are both working. I'm still struggling with a lot of health issues, and I have 2 still high-need kids who I cook for and do a lot of other parenting for every day. My husband says it's over because I said no, but I feel like it's never over. They push and push and push, and even if I won this one, I know there'll be a next. Clearly, they think we owe them. I disagree strongly. I wish I could separate from them more, but my husband makes me feel that is not an option. What should I do? I keep setting boundaries because that is the only healthy way I know of dealing with them, but it is still torture for me to spend time with them when I have to, and I know my husband is irritated at me for not letting it go. Your husband should be informed that while cutting his family off may not be an option for him, it is for you. You will not subject yourself or your children to their toxic behavior. If he wants to host them, he is welcome to do so. You and the kids will get a room in a nice hotel for the duration where you can swim and read or go for fun activities together. While he hosts these toxic leeches and cleans up after his party, they bring nothing of value to you or your children. Reading this makes me more annoyed with your husband than your MIL. He should not guilt you into these interactions. And if, when she complains, he should let her know you have other plans, priorities, or whatever. He should defend your decision to do what you want with your free time. Thank you. This is amazing, to talk to other people who get it. I've walked around feeling like a terrible person since Sunday because he acts like I'm so over the top and nasty, but I'm just spinning after these encounters for a few days. I wish I could separate from them more, but my husband makes me feel that is not an option. What should I do? Tell your husband he is free to go or host, but you won't. And then actually don't. Don't visit. Don't be there when they visit. If they want to talk, they can talk to him. If they contact you, tell them to contact him. Also, your husband is a huge part of the problem. If he doesn't fix himself, you need to start telling him no as well. And TBH, I don't see your relation going the distance if he keeps refusing to actually deal with his issues. Husband is irritated at you for not letting go. Frankly, I would be irritated at him because he expects you and kids to go to these functions. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.